Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee and Conversation with Vida del Norte. Last week, I tried going live, and for some reason, Zoom did an update, and Facebook just, I don't know what the heck happened, but I was echoing all over the place because both were playing, and I couldn't stand it. So I decided to let it rest. I still haven't really figured out what happened or what was going on, but I'm gonna just try to do this on Zoom and let it go live on Facebook. So if you are joining in and if you are commenting on Facebook, unfortunately I won't be able to see it. I guess I could probably get on my phone and look, but I'm just gonna come on really quick this morning and just talk a little bit about goals. This was the topic last week, considering we just came into the new year, and I just, every year I think it's tradition that we say new year, new goals, and or we decide that this year we're going to do this, we're going to accomplish that, and sometimes we start out the year really, really good. And then by like February, end of February, March, our goals kind of just go wayside. Um, I know that's typical for me. I start a goal every single year. In fact, I decided that this year I wasn't going to say new year, new goals. I decided that I was going to say same goal, new year, but I'm going to dedicate myself to what I want to do this year. So every January, and I'm, even looking back on my Facebook memories, I do start out with the new year working out and exercising and doing really good. And I usually, looking back, I typically do burn out like by the end of February. So this year, I am going to dedicate myself to actually completing that goal. And I plan on going the whole year through and reaching my goals. So if you see me and I am not meeting those goals in April, if you see that I'm not posting, that I'm not going to the gym, you call me out on it, because I need to be held accountable. And I think for a lot of people, we need that accountability. It's really easy to say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and then start the action and then not follow through. So I want to ask the question, what are your goals for this year? I know last year I had set out a whole bunch of goals that I didn't get to accomplish because of COVID. By the time March rolled around, everything just got thrown wayside. And in fact, I had been doing really well with my goal of fitness and wellness when COVID hit, and unfortunately, I didn't stick with it. It it's it's sad that I didn't, but it just happened, and I landed up um, having some really bad anxiety when March rolled in, and when COVID, when everything shut down, and when we landed up having to go into, isolation. And I know that it wasn't good. It wasn't good for my mental health. It wasn't good for my family. It wasn't good for anything. I landed up gaining more weight than what I wanted to. And so I finally, I think in November, I turned 40 in November, by the way. And I made a decision that when I turned 40, I wasn't going to continue to live the way that I was living. I decided that I was going to change up some things in my life. There's been some other goals in my life that I've been wanting to accomplish. And some of them are financial. I was able to meet some of my financial goals last spring, which I'm really excited about. Paid off some debt that I had lingering, and it feels really good to be in that place. But starting out in January, we're still at the beginning of the year. Yeah, we're still stuck in this chaotic world that we live in. And I'm sure that last week's events with the Capitol, what happened with the Capitol, caused some other anxieties with people. And because I know it did with me, but I took a step back and I looked at the world around me. And the world around me right now is pretty peaceful, and we are happy, we are healthy, And I decided that I wasn't gonna play into the political madness that is happening in DC and in around America. And I decided that I was going to continue to work on my goals, continue to work on myself, and move forward in that type of a direction. So I just want to throw this out there because, you know, goals are important. They're important in almost everything. And then maybe even changing the wording up as saying, you know, I haven't met my goals, but you know what, I have had this success. This is the success that I had in 2020. You know, what were your successes? What can you be proud of? And then how can you build on those successes so that you can move into a new reality of what you think your life should be? Um, you know, some successes that I had was, you know, that I feel are important to me is that I actually was able to keep the coalition alive and keep our coalition together. We didn't fall, you know, we didn't fall apart. We were able to continue to maintain our membership. We were able to continue to maintain providing stuff for our community. Not in the ways that we wanted, because there were some partnerships that we had built at the beginning of the year that we had hoped to see flourish. They did flourish, but they didn't evolve exactly in the way that we anticipated them to. But we come back to the drawing board where, you know, we have our annual retreat. So for the past 2 years, this is our third year right now. We have an annual retreat where we get together with our coalition members and we plan for the next year. We set goals. We try to, you know, implement the things that we need to implement as far as, you know, meeting our requirements for our grant, and continue to provide resources for prevention for our youth and our community. So with that being said, we will be having hosting a virtual retreat this year, considering that we can't gather. And I want to invite you all. We do have an agenda planned. I'm working on finalizing that today and getting it sent out. So if you are interested and wanting to see what that agenda looks like, I can share it with you. You can message me, you can message the Vida page, and we can get you that information. But some of the things that we really need to start looking at is the high numbers of vaping that is going on with our youth. You know, we've talked about alcohol, we've talked about other substances in the past, but we continue, and we know that vaping has become an epidemic in the US, and we really want to start working on that. So we will be providing some information on Friday. Our retreat will be from 9 to 2, so it's 5 hours with a lunch break. There, like I said, there's going to be different categories that we're going to be touching on. So if you do want to join us, but you can't join us for the full 5 hours, you can come on in at any point and listen to what we are saying. I do have the link up in our on our Facebook page. There's an event there that you can look at, and you can get on to the Zoom link, and the password is available as well. Anyways, I just wanted to start Coffee and Conversation back up. In the next week, we will be having some guest speakers coming back on. We'll have Lawrence Medina from Rio Grande IOP services in IOP, which is intensive outpatient treatment from Rio Grande in Taos. He'll be speaking next week on some of the services that they offer, and the direction that they're moving in, as well as some other things nationally that he is affiliated with. So I'm really looking forward to that conversation. And we won't have Coffee and Conversation on Friday because we will be having the virtual retreat. There will be some points throughout the time that we have allotted where we will go live on Facebook. So feel free to chime in and listen and look. So, and yeah, with that being said, Happy New Year. I hope everyone had a really good holiday. And let's see what those goals are. You know, post them in the chat. Let me know what your goal is for 2021. My goal is health and fitness, and a healthy financial year. So if that's my goal, let's start out the new year right, and work towards accomplishing those goals. All right, you all have yourselves a good morning, and I will see you all on Friday. And then don't forget, we will be back here next week again with our guest speaker, Mr. Lawrence Medina.